$1 million question, and that is, how do you keep faith in yourself and in your craft during turbulent times? Indeed, that is the $1 million question, because it's so revealing. Um, yes, it is very frustrating, and it's really hard not to feel down. But lately, as some of you might know, I am just coming out or recovering from a deep, deep personal tragedy. And so that means, feelings waver up and down. And yes, it's gotten to a point where there are times when I don't really believe myself. And I'll expand on that. But I have a resolve, and I have shared that in my work. Some of you have been following me for quite some time, and that is the expression that no matter how you feel, you get up, you dress up, and you fight for your dreams. And so that is, just part of my philosophy, my daily practice. And I also keep in mind that I have a commitment to myself to show up. Okay. I have a goal each day to be better than I was yesterday or a moment ago. So to be better. And so that means that, when I experience times when, I don't believe in myself, because these feelings waver, I just want to share a secret. When you're faced with light and dark, yin yang, or choice to make, the reality of the situation is such, but what really matters is what you do in between. It's the in between that really matters, and the decisions you make there and then. And so, when I have feelings where I am faced with keeping the faith in turbulent times, my self-belief wavers, I remember the commitment that I have made to myself. I have a goal, okay? And even if it involves rolling out of bed, breaking down each and every step to make it, then that's just how it's going to be. Rehearse it in your mind, from rolling out of bed, number one, to having a shower, number two, to getting dressed. Sometimes it really calls for that. But you take the steps, you keep the commitment, you show up. Okay, for me, it's like I have to show up. And so, in so doing, that helps me kind of get through the valley of the shadow of death. And it's really important to believe in yourself, and that success is imminent. Lately, I felt that I've not always been in the driver's seat. It's circumstantial, and such as life. But as an artist, your identity is really tied up with what you do in your work, and because you put so much into your work. And it's one thing, because it's kind of ironic. It's one thing when I'm getting all the praise, all the, appreciation, adulation for my talent, and people just loving what I do. But it's another when I really don't have anything to show for it, the amount of work doesn't equate to the amount of talent. And so that's really, really hard to take. And it's one argument if my work really sucks, and so you think, okay, well, that makes sense. But as it is, I have really good work, and I have really good things that I'm doing. And so you think, boy, this doesn't really make any sense. It's very frustrating, gets you down, and it's hard to take. But I also take a moment and I reflect on, yes, I have some good quality work on record. I have some great opportunities as they're happening. There's just not as many. Um, I love what I do. Um, I'm doing it. I get by. Um, it'd be nice to have a bit of it, a bit more of it. The lockdowns really didn't do very much for artists or for myself, to be more specific. Maybe I can't speak for all artists, but it certainly didn't do me any good. So, yeah, in this moment in the valley of shadow, it's been very, very frustrating. But bottom line is that I love what I do. And so when you love something enough, um, and because your identity is tied into it, you try something new, you try new things. And that's why, part of it is, well, instead of waiting, I get out there, I take the music to the people. And that in itself is a different experience. And it's, keeps the wheel going, I suppose, keeps up momentum. But I certainly could do more, could use more opportunities. In the meantime, it's just, coping with the frustration until such a time that hopefully other opportunities open and we can keep that at bay and continue to do other aspects. I'm not complaining that I meet people in, diverse situations and whatnot. It would be so nice to do a bit more. And I can't wait till that day. So thank you for the question. That was a really good question. I'm going to try and do more of these Q&As. But yeah, I really appreciate the opportunity to share a bit of that insight.